All right, guys. So the Oscar nominations just came out, and I'm going to react to them. Warning, I don't really react. I kind of have a plain face, but I'll give my thoughts on some of the movies that were nominated, whether I agree or disagree with them. At the same time, we get to talk about some of last year's movies. If you guys have followed my channel for a bit now, I give zero credibility to the Oscars. The Golden Globes recently got dismissed as a big ball of garbage recently, and I don't think the Academy Awards are that far off from that. It's all pay to win, it's all bribery, it's all about promoting your film. So I don't really give credit to the Oscars, and neither should you. However, it remains one of the most iconic things in Hollywood. And when a small movie, like, say, a Parasite, ends up winning the Oscar, well, that movie gets a lot more eyeballs. So I like it when a movie that's kind of underground ends up winning an Oscar. I'm happy for it. But at the end of the day, zero merit or credit to the Oscars. Let's just jump into it. Got my nominations right here. Let's go through it together. All right, Best Picture: Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune. That was a pretty big reaction. I wasn't expecting it. Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, okay, Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. Some big ones missing from here. The Tragedy of Macbeth is not nominated here. Tons of great movies obviously weren't nominated. I'm just going to go through the nominees. Belfast, I appreciated it for what it was. It was kind of like what Alfonso Cuarón did with Roma, Kenneth Branagh did with Belfast. So in that sense, I thought it was a little derivative. That said, it's a pretty personal film. I can still respect it despite me not ever seeing myself revisiting it again. Coda, I didn't like. I thought Coda was a sappy movie. I thought it was a little too cheeseball. I didn't really get into it. Don't Look Up, listen, when people were bashing on Don't Look Up, I was like, yeah, guys, it's not that horrible, but it's not that good either. But Academy Award nominee Don't Look Up, ugh. Drive My Car I haven't seen yet, but it's highly anticipated, and just from the sounds of it, I feel like I would enjoy that movie. Dune, I enjoyed it. King Richard, I skipped on. I have zero interest in it. It kind of looks like a Will Smith vehicle. I kind of find it annoying that it got nominated because even though it probably merited it, I can't help but think it was like Jada Pinkett Smith the year that Will Smith did Concussion. She was like, Oscar so white because my husband didn't get it. I'm okay, yeah. Oscar so white, but you can't think of another male black performance other than your husband's. Come on now. Licorice Pizza, I did enjoy. Nightmare Alley, I didn't like it. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I thought it was like mediocre. I really liked the first half, but that second half was a little lackluster. Power of the Dog, I didn't like. I thought it was a little too artsy fartsy for my taste. And West Side Story. The big one here that's missing, several big ones. Mass, missing. I don't know why, but it's missing. What was the other film I was gonna say? It just slipped my mind. Red Rocket. Where the fuck is Red Rocket? That movie slapped. That movie is missing in action. I don't know. All right, let's go into actress in a supporting role. Jessie Buckley, The Lost Daughter. I'm afraid I didn't see that movie. Then Ariana DeBose in West Side Story. I think she did an okay job. It was okay. Judi Dench, Belfast. Kirsten Dunst for Power of the Dog, and Ajwani Ellis. I can't say that one. King Richard. Okay, I haven't seen Lost Daughter or King Richard, but of the three I've seen, I think Judi Dench is the best performance here, by a long shot as well. I did like Ariana DeBose in West Side Story and Kirsten Dunst in Power of the Dog. Despite me not liking Power of the Dog, I thought her performance was good. But the obvious good one best one here is Judi Dench. And I'm pretty sure the Academy Award will have no problem giving Judi Dench an Oscar. I don't know if she's won an Oscar in the past, but she's an old fart, and they like giving the Oscars to old farts. It's either the newcomer that like fills in a diversity quota or an old fart. You gotta bank on one of those two. Actor in a supporting role: Ciarán Hinds, Troy Kotsur in Coda, Jesse Plemons in Power of the Dog. I think Jesse Plemons is an underrated actor. I love Jesse Plemons in everything he is in. And I liked him even in last year's movie, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. So J.K. Simmons in Being the Ricardos. Hold on, I'm just going to turn off my furnace. I'll be right back. All right. Jesse Buckley. Yeah, okay. Oh no, reading wrong one. My bad. Okay, here we go. J.K. Simmons and Being the Ricardos. Yeah, Being the Ricardos actually wasn't nominated for Best Picture. Neither should it, because it wasn't really that great. I didn't think J.K. Simmons did an outstanding job, per se. It wasn't like, well, I'm just comparing him to Whiplash, so. And then Cody Smith-McPhee in The Power of the Dog. You know what? I kind of thought it was his movie. I kind of always viewed him as the lead character in that, but that's arguable. He could be the supporting actor. Of these here, I would go with, actually, I'd go with Troy Kotsur for Coda. I thought he gave the best performance of the 5. Yeah, I would go with that. International film. I haven't seen a lot of these, okay? Actually, I've seen none of them, so I can't really judge on it. Guys, bear with me. I live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, Maine, and it's so hard to get my hands on some of these movies. Documentary short. Let's skip over that. Documentary feature: Flea, Summer of Soul, Ascension, Attica, and Writing with Fire. Okay, interesting. I did really like Summer of Soul, and that's the only one that I've seen from this bunch. So actually, I'm gonna pull up a list of all the movies I saw from 2021, and then we can go through it. What are the big snubs? Original song, okay, No Time to Die is probably gonna win. Damn, I feel like there's something missing from original song. Oh yeah, what was that fucking movie? The Harder They Fall. What the fuck? It's not even there. That had, guys, say what you will about The Harder They Fall. That had a killer soundtrack. Fuck, they got Miss Lauryn Hill to be on the soundtrack. They had Kid Cudi, they had Jay-Z. Instead, they're going for the obvious Disney pick. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. One of the problems I have with the Oscars is they always nominate the same movie. Like, how many times are we going to see King Richard in Belfast, you know? But it is what it is. Animated feature film. To be honest, none of the animated feature films really interested me besides Flea. And I couldn't get my hands on that one. I believe it might be on streaming right now. But Encanto, listen, I have no interest in watching that. I'm a full-grown man with hair on his ass. I'm not watching that shit. Mitchell's versus the Machines. I was a fan of Into the Spider-Verse. This is the same people who did Into the Spider-Verse. But something about it wasn't piquing my interest, and I just skipped out on it. And then Ryan the Last Dragon. Yeah, I'm not going to watch that. Adapted screenplay. Here we go again. Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, Lost Daughter, and Power of the Dog. I think the best one, your best bet here is actually Dune, because a lot of people say that Dune, you couldn't adapt it to the big screen. And despite me not reading the book, I did see David Lynch's Dune, and I can second that. It's pretty hard to adapt Dune, so hey, they managed to do it. Original screenplay: Don't Look Up, The Worst Person in the World, Licorice Pizza, King Richard, and Belfast. Of the 5 here, I think the more interesting original screenplay is Licorice Pizza. But again, Red Rocket seems to be missing in action here. Actor in a leading role: Javier Bardem in Being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch, Power of the Dog. Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom. A lot of people were expecting a lot from Tick, Tick, Boom, and it's not really all that nominated. And I wasn't that big into Tick, Tick, Boom, actually. But again, missing in action here is Mass. Mass had the best ensemble cast of the year, but unfortunately, Mass is a smaller film. It cost less than $1 million to make, and it didn't have a really good Oscar push from what I can see. So the Oscars, guys, keep in mind, the Oscars is not about the best movie. It's about what was marketed as the best movie. So keep that in mind. I didn't see The Tragedy of Macbeth, but Denzel Washington is one of the best actors working right now, so I have no problem with him being nominated. But yeah, missing in action, Simon Rex for Red Rocket. I think Simon Rex gave the best performance that I saw from last year, despite him being a porn star. And I feel like the Academy Award would have never nominated him. As much as I would have liked to see him get nominated, just to see a porn star nominated in the mix, it would have kind of tainted that polish of the Oscar statue. Actress in a leading role, I didn't see The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Funny story, actually. So, I don't know if I should say this, but let's just say I know someone who was involved with the real story of The Eyes of Tammy Faye. And he watched the movie and said it kind of didn't really go down like that. Kind of went down a little more conspiracy theory route. I don't know if he's bluffing. I do know he's involved with the real story, but yeah, I don't want to speculate. Parallel Mothers, I was actually about to watch that this past weekend, but I was driving down to south of Maine, and I saw a movie theater, and I just missed it. And I was like, ah, fuck. Kristen Stewart for Spencer. Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos. That one shouldn't be there. And Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter. I didn't see that one, but to me, the best out of the ones that I've seen here. And keep in mind, I've only seen 2, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But Kristen Stewart did a phenomenal job in Spencer, and I would have actually liked to see Spencer get nominated for Best Picture. I think it could have deserved it, despite it not being in my top 10. I really respected that film. Director, Spielberg for West Side Story, Kenneth Branagh for Belfast, Ryosuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car. I actually did that pretty well, I hope. Jane Campion for Power of the Dog, and PTA for Licorice Pizza. Obviously, PTA, he's a loved director. He's going to get nominated. Same can be said with Spielberg. I have a feeling Jane Campion is going to win for Power of the Dog. That said, when I think of director, now is the time to nominate Dune. That was some phenomenal directing, and I'm not just biased because I'm a fan of Denis Villeneuve and I'm a fan of Quebec because that's where I'm from, but that obviously had the best directing. The way I see best director is who had the monumental task, who went against all odds, who had the most monumental task to achieve. And when that comes to mind, I think of Denis Villeneuve for Dune. But of the 5 here, if I have to give one, listen, Kenneth Branagh brought some really good performances out of his actors in that movie. Same can be said for PTA. I haven't seen Drive My Car, so I can't really judge. But of the 5 here, I think Spielberg for West Side Story. And that's not just because he's Spielberg. Obviously, he's a classic director. I really think he brought something new to the table with West Side Story. And considering that there's already a classic adaptation of West Side Story that came out in the early 60s, he really brought something new to the table, and he really brought that Spielberg charm. It was almost like a return to form for Spielberg from my perspective anyway. So of the 5 here, Spielberg. Production design, Dune, Nightmare Alley, Tragedy of Macbeth, Power of the Dog, West Side Story. No problem with these nominees here. I would have to go with Dune on that one, though. Anything that's technical is going to go to Dune. Then cinematography, Dune, Nightmare Alley, Power of the Dog, West Side Story, Tragedy of Macbeth. Again, guys, when I say that I have a problem with the Oscars because they keep giving the same movies nominations, look at the nominees for production design and cinematography and see if you notice something. They're the exact same. So you're telling me that the top 5 movies for production design are the exact same as the top 5 movies for cinematography? The odds of that occurring are pretty low. And that's why I don't like the Oscars. It's all about campaigning. So, yeah, I'm not even going to comment on cinematography because I'm a little annoyed. Costume design, Cyrano. I didn't even know Cyrano was in the running, and I haven't seen it yet, but Cyrano, Cruella, Dune, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. Probably Cruella is gonna win if I had to guess because it's a movie about fashion. Achievement in sound. So I think this year sound is no longer 2 categories, which I can kind of get behind because everyone's like, what's sound editing and sound mixing? And they kind of said, you know what, fuck it, just best sound, which kind of makes sense. It's not like they had 2 nominations for cinematography, or it's not like they'd have multiple nominations for production design. So I can kind of get behind the fact that they're making it 1 category, from what I can tell anyway. And I heard rumble that they might do that. So Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, and Power of the Dog. All right. Short film, live action short, I can see. Original score, and again, missing in action here is The Harder They Fall. A lot of people didn't like The Harder They Fall, but I don't see in what world that the soundtrack, just the music of that film, isn't captivating to the ear. So Don't Look Up, I can't even remember the score of that. What? Parallel Mothers, I haven't seen. Encanto, sure, Disney musical. Dune and Power of the Dog. This is what happened to me last year. It's like I get fed up of reading the same nominees. Okay, visual effects now. Dune, obviously the winner. Not even close, but Free Guy, I can get behind Free Guy. It kind of had its unique style. No Time to Die, sure. VFX were actually a little questionable in that. Shang-Chi, I haven't seen it. Uh, Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay, guys, say what you will about Spider-Man No Way Home. It's fan service done at its best. The VFX were questionable in that. Some of the VFX were kind of like, I thought Sony and Marvel had a little more money, but yeah, not feeling Spider-Man No Way Home for visual effects. Missing here is Eternals, which I feel like if you're going to nominate a Marvel movie, Eternals, I didn't see the movie, but from what it looked like, had better visual effects. And Godzilla missing from here. And I thought Godzilla, Dune aside, I thought Godzilla had better VFX than these 4 here. Film editing. Okay, no. Don't Look Up did not have the best editing. I don't care what anyone says. Dune, King Richard, Power of the Dog, whatever. Don't Look Up for editing? There's so many editing mistakes. It just felt very weird and choppy. I wasn't a fan of Don't Look Up's editing. Makeup and hairstyling, House of Gucci, Eyes of Tammy Faye, Dune, Cruella, and Coming to America. I would have said House of Gucci, Lady Gaga should have gotten a nomination for that, but I was a little too clueless when it came to lead actress. I haven't seen. Let me just pull up a doc real quick. So this is, I kept like an agenda or like a list of all of the movies I saw in 2021. Let's go through it just to see like the bigger snubs. It's loading. All right. Here we go. So Apples was my favorite movie of 2021. I didn't expect it to get any nominations because not many people saw it to begin with. Saint Maud, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because I don't think Saint Maud was legible for Oscars because it didn't come out. Kind of had a weird release, so it might not have counted as a 2021 movie. Red Rocket and Mass, we talked about it being snubbed. Father was last year's Oscar. Sabaya for documentary. I thought Sabaya was amazing, but again, I haven't seen enough of the documentaries nominated, and I have no problem with Summer of Soul being nominated. Bad Trip, they're never going to nominate, but I loved it. Green Knight is missing in action for a lot of things. I would say Dev Patel was pretty good in that movie, but I would also say VFX. I thought the VFX in Green Knight, even though it's a small indie movie, I thought the VFX in the Green Knight were way better than whatever was nominated, Shang-Chi and Spider-Man. And here's the thing, when they do the best VFX category, they're always going to nominate like the big spectacle shit. But that to me is not the best VFX, okay? Because if you want to go down that route, sure, you can nominate the fucking Scorpion King, because that had a lot of VFX. But they were all kind of bad in the Scorpion King. So to me, it's not about the scale of the VFX, it's how effective it was. And as far as how effective it was, Green Knight had better VFX than other movies that I liked. Lamb seemed to be missing a lot. I enjoyed Lamb. I don't know what you would nominate it for. I'm okay with it not getting nominated all that much. Spencer, I expected a lot more nominations. Come on, I expected a lot. In the Heights got snubbed pretty hard in my opinion. That was I really liked In the Heights, and Tick Tick Boom got a few nominations, but besides West Side Story, I think the best musical of last year was in fact In the Heights. So that got a snub. I could have seen a supporting actress nom go there or something like that. Val for documentary, again, I can't really speak much about documentaries because I haven't seen 4 of the 5 nominees, but Val, it got a lot of buzz, and even my friends who aren't into film, they watched Val and really enjoyed it. So yeah. Last Duel, I could have seen the girl in Last Duel get a nomination for supporting actress or something. uh, yeah, just a couple of snubs here. The French Dispatch is actually missing in action, and that could have gotten nominated for cinematography or set design, production design, or anything like that. Uh, Even though I wasn't that big into the French Dispatch and I had a lot of criticisms, all of the elements that you would expect from a Wes Anderson movie were present. So good cinematography, etc. Titan, again, I'm probably one of the few people on the internet who didn't think it was all that, but and I would have seen Suicide Squad. I thought Suicide Squad had better VFX than Spider-Man. So it is what it is, you know? Fuck it. Also, I would have liked to see Nicolas Cage get a nomination for Pig. Who was nominated for actor? Let's go back to best actor. Actor, picture, act. Where's actor? Actor in a leading role. Nicolas Cage was way better than Javier Bardem. He was way better than Benedict Cumberbatch, in my opinion. He was on par with Andrew Garfield. I haven't seen Tragedy of Macbeth, and I haven't seen King Richard. Again, the problem I have with the Oscars is its lack of variety. It's always the same movies getting nominated. I would have liked to see a bit more diversity in its nominees. And the Oscars are always talking about, we're trying to make it more hip for the kids, we're trying to make it more hip. And the more you narrow your nominees, the less people are going to tune into the Oscars because it's all the same movies. If there's like a guy out there who really liked the movie Red Rocket, such as myself, well, I'm not going to really tune into the Oscars all that much because like one of my top 3 movies of the year isn't really nominated. So yeah, that's the problem I have with the Oscars mostly. Too much bribery, too much campaigning, and at the end of the day, too few nominees. It's the same old shit year after year, and I'm tired of it. Let me start my own Oscars, is what I'm saying. Guys, what did you think of the Oscar nominations? Is there a snub that I'm missing? Yeah, comment below, let me know. And on that note, I'll see you guys around. Woo!